What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a rant video. I would like to talk about Kamaru Usman jumping up 2 weight classes to light heavyweight. Is it realistic? How well is he going to do? What guys he can defeat? What guys I believe would give him a really hard time and beat him? So let's get into this. All right, so at this point, it's pretty widely known that Kamaru Usman has flirted with going to light heavyweight and trying to win that strap or win a couple of fights. I know he had interest in fighting possibly Jan Blachowicz. If I'm a little bit mistaken on some of these facts, my apologies, but to my understanding, this is the case. So first, let's go over Kamaru Usman's stats, his physical dimensions. Alright, so Kamaru Usman in the welterweight division, I would say, is a pretty big welterweight. He stands at 6 feet tall, he has a 76-inch reach, and I'm pretty sure come fight night, he's probably getting in there like 185 pounds plus. Well, let me rephrase that. Probably 183 pounds. And it wouldn't shock me if he comes in 185 plus. He's very lean, a lot of muscle. He's not like bloated and stocky. He's still athletic looking, but muscled nonetheless. Very low body fat percentage. If I had to put a gauge on it, I would say maybe less than 10%. On fight night, that's pretty impressive. Now, when you're muscled, when you're lean like that, you can certainly dry out, drain those muscles of water, and put the water weight back on. So I think Usman has mastered that. Like I said, I think he's a pretty big welterweight. Now, talking about his skill set, Kamaru Usman does have a heavy wrestling background. He's very skilled in the wrestling department. At the beginning of his career, that kind of like was his bread and butter, controlling guys with the wrestling and grappling, draining them, wearing them out. As his career went along, he's developed striking skill, and he's at a point now where he has knockout power. He's stopping guys with strikes, and he's looking better and better every time. Now, do I think Kamaru Usman could compete at light heavyweight? Sure, I think he can compete at light heavyweight. Do I think he's going to be as dominant at light heavyweight? The answer is no. I do not believe Kamaru Usman is going to be as dominant at light heavyweight. I think he's going to be an undersized light heavy. Sure, he can put on the weight, the muscle, fill out more. He could even try to get well past 205 to cut down a little bit. But I think it's going to be like too much muscle and size for his frame. And it's probably going to take away some of his attributes that make him so dominant at welterweight. Now, even though Kamaru Usman kind of like plots forward, he's not really known for his footwork, I still find him explosive and quick. Now, with the extra weight and the extra muscle, that may change his fight style and his attributes, and it's going to affect his skill. So we're going to potentially have a stronger Kamaru Usman who's going to be undersized as far as like height and reach, and he's going to be slower, in theory. So being a little bit undersized. Now, mind you, some of these light heavyweights, they're heavyweights. It says light heavyweight. That's in the heavyweight category. And when these guys are not competing, not cutting down, they get up to like 230 pounds plus. Not all of these guys, but some of them. Now, Usman may have some of these guys in the pure wrestling skill, but strength and size, they matter, they're factors. And it might be the equalizer as far as Usman being able to control some of these guys. He's going to have to move around more weight. He's going to have to contest and deal with guys that are stronger than him. And even though he might be more skilled in wrestling and grappling, it's going to tire him out. It's going to be more work to put these guys on the mat and hold them down. Now, let's get into the striking. You got some of these big guys that could strike. Kamaru Usman, to me, is not a great striker yet. He's a very competent striker. He's good, but he's not like an elite striker to me. He's still growing, he's still learning. He's getting better and better. But imagine Kamaru Usman versus a guy like Jiri Prochazka. Strictly striking, that's probably going to be a massacre. I don't necessarily like Usman's odds against Jan Blachowicz striking either. Alexander Rakic, that would probably be a bad matchup as well. Let's just go down the list of some of these guys. So, Jiri's the champion. I already touched on that. Glover Teixeira is ranked #1. That's another bad fight for Kamaru Usman. I think it would be a pain to take Glover down. Even if he manages to get Glover to grapple, get into the mat, is that a good idea with Glover's BJJ and his size and strength? And standing with Teixeira, you got a guy who has really good boxing skill, great striking at light heavyweight. This is a guy that's a bona fide light heavyweight knockout artist. He stopped plenty of guys with strikes at light heavyweight. For sure, I would favor Glover in the stand-up. Rank number 2, Jan Blachowicz touched on that. Jan's a big light heavyweight, he's solid. He has a way deeper striking background than Usman. That's not going to go well for him. Blachowicz also has a competent ground game. Alexander Rakic, huge guy. Athletic, strong. Bad matchup. Magomed Ankalaev, super bad matchup. This guy has a sambo and wrestling background to my understanding. Greco-Roman to be exact. He's going to be bigger, stronger than Kamaru Usman. I believe he's more technical on the feet. Bad matchup. Anthony Smith. Call me crazy, I think that's winnable for a light heavyweight Usman. But probably not in the stand-up. Now mind you, Anthony Smith is dangerous on the mat. He has pretty damn good BJJ, so it's not going to be a walk in the park regardless. But I think Kamaru Usman may be potentially stronger than Anthony Smith at light heavyweight, and he may be able to contest Anthony Smith on the feet long enough to secure a takedown, keep him on his back, score, and if he can do that continuously, he could probably win that fight. That one for me is probably like 50-50. I know a lot of you might not agree with that, but that's just how I feel about that matchup. Thiago Santos, that's winnable. Santos doesn't really seem easy to take down per se, but if Usman had the same approach as he would have with Anthony Smith, I would say, quote, winnable. Standing with Santos, terrible idea. Dominic Reyes, super problematic. You have a huge light heavyweight who's strong, who's athletic, who's going to have way more knockout power, longer reach. Dominic Reyes, good defensive wrestling for light heavyweight. That's a problem. Paul Craig would be tricky. He's ranked number 8. Just going down the list. Paul Craig, like super solid submission grappling game. In the stand-up, yeah, maybe Usman could get him. But the ground is going to be tricky. Ultimately, I would say, yeah, it's winnable. Volkan Ozdemir. You don't want to stand with him if you're Kamaru Usman. I think it's winnable though. Jamahal Hill. Again, standing with him, I think that would not be good for Kamaru Usman's health. Not a light heavyweight, but winnable if he can get the fight to the mat. So there's some fights that he could possibly win. Few that he would be favored to win in the top 10. Most of those guys at light heavyweight in the top 10 would beat Usman in a bad way. If I'm wrong, hey, I will love to see it. I would love to see Kamaru Usman jump up 2 weight classes, do the unthinkable, do the quote impossible, dominate, crush, win the belt at light heavyweight. That would be amazing. That would be epic for the sport. That would break barriers, show what's possible. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think he's ultimately too small for light heavyweight. He may be more skilled than some of these guys in several ways, but the size and strength, the athleticism, the skill that some of these guys do possess, it's going to be overwhelming, just too much. Some tall mountains to climb. But more power to Kamaru Usman if he wants to challenge himself. He's been pretty much running through everybody at welterweight. I understand you get bored. You need to put worthy challenges in front of you to get motivated, to get you out of bed in the morning, to go train, to put your body through that. You need something to strive for, something that scares you, something that's a challenge. I get it. But try middleweight. Don't bump up 2 weight classes to light heavy. I think that's crazy. I know. It's been done before. V.I.P.N has been all over the place. What a legend. BJ being a natural 155 lightweight fighter. He didn't bump up 2 weight classes and have dominant success. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section. Would you want to see Kamaru Usman at light heavyweight? And how much success would he have? Who would he beat? Let's stick with the top 10. Love to read your thoughts. Fun to have these conversations and debates. Thanks for watching the segment, guys. If this is your first time at the channel and you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate that a ton. Please like and share the video. That's how you show support. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next segment. Until then, everyone, please take care. Later, guys.